Donald Trump is guilty.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is he guilty?
Yeah, Donald
he
Trump
is.
guilty
Oh,
of falsifying business
How
records.
many felonies? How many?
Verdict count 5 guilty. I don't know. Let's
Oh,
see.
but anyway, Donald J. Trump is now a felon.
Unanimous decision.
Join the rest of America that don't have legal representation.
That's right.
I'm about to do my
You
Jesus
had all
walk
the money
up
in the world and
here.
caught all them felonies. But
Ain't
then
no
you're
like-
dancing.
Hey, 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 hey.
This is worse than the Bama brawl.
Somebody had to throw the hat up.
Somebody had to throw that hat up.
Shit. Amen. 7 count. So verdict 7 guilty. Verdict 8 guilty. It might be all 34. I
They
think
still
it's
counting
all.
them?
Yeah. 9 guilty. Come on. Come on.
Look,
Oh,
10
10.
guilty.
so I have to
he got
say,
10 F's right now.
10.
11. 11.
Rack them up.
keep
Rack
it
'em up.
going.
How
Keep
many
it
books?
going.
That, 12.
Boom.
How many books he got? They ain't but 14.
Hey now.
Well, 13.
We going all the way to
13.
34.
Hey now.
14.
14.
15.
Hold on, ain't 15
Look,
yet.
Harriet Tubman is looking
Oh
over
my-
his shoulder and
Oh
she's
my
like,
God.
yeah.
15. Is that 15
That's
felonies?
15 so far.
Ooh.
We going to 34.
Ooh, nah, we gonna count this out.
16.
We counting this out. 6, 17. What?
Hey.
Like Sesame
Oh my
Street.
gosh.
18.
Wow.
Count Dracula.
What?
18.
18. Oh.
19. Count.
Well,
Oh. They're at 19. 19
yeah,
counts.
boy.
Oh my. 20.
20.
He got 20 felonies.
Keep
20.
going.
21.
21.
Oh my gosh.
21. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Oh, 22.
Hey.
He got 22
Hey.
felonies.
Man.
23. 23
Hey,
felonies.
Hey, hey,
We're watching
hey,
CNN right
hey,
now.
24.
Donald Trump is now at 24 felonies. The jury's
25.
back. 25
hey,
felonies.
Hey.
Oh my
hey,
goodness.
26.
20.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
27.
Turn it up.
Hey.
Turn
Hey.
it up.
28. Oh.
Turn it. Turn it up.
20. Hey. Hey.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
29. There's 29
Hey.
felonies.
Hey.
29.
Give me hey.
There's 30.
Hey.
What?
There's 30
What?
felonies. 30 felonies.
31.
31 felonies.
Oh
my goodness.
Keep
31.
Keep moving.
31. Dee Dee.
32.
32 felonies so far.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
33.
Give me one.
33.
Hey.
Get one more.
Just
One more.
Come on.
And
Come on, ancestors.
Come on.
34.
34 felonies.
Yeah, boy.
Oh my.
Hey.
And my Flavor Flav voice.
Yeah, boy.
Oh my gosh.
34 convicted. Convicted. Say it again.
Convicted.
Boom.
Y'all's president.
34.
Boom. Drop the mic.
34 felonies.
See
Yeah.
now? See now?
Amen.
Because if it was you, Brother Jeff, it wouldn't have taken
Oh,
this
no,
long.
no. 34 felonies.
It wouldn't have taken this long.
34.
Unanimously.
Unanimous.
All 34 counts unanimously, and it took less than a day.
He got to go to jail now.
Well,
Yep.
well, I need to
House
do my,
arrest, whatever it is.
I need to
Something
do
about
my
to
Yeshua
happen.
dance up in here.
Whoa.
Trump has
Oh
a
my
frowned
God.
expression on his face as the verdict reading is completed.
And
He
he's
is not
turning-
moving.
he's turning
He
oranger.
probably ain't breathing.
Oranger and oranger and oranger. He's turning oranger.
What? Oh, breaking news. We are coming off of breaking news from yesterday and now breaking news today.
Yes.
Median, what does this moment mean right now where a former president of the United States of America has just been hit with 34 felonies, a unanimous decision, and that news is breaking right now?
First and most importantly, it means that we are living history. So this is now historic. This has never happened before. So we have now seen something that has never happened in our entire foundation of this country happen. That's first. The second is we are now seeing that someone that has lived through a presidency is also subject to our legal system. And we're also seeing something that I don't think any of us that have been on the receiving end of the bullshit of the legal system would have imagined. We typically see white men celebrity, white man that has had authority, influence, power, just go off and that's it.
Well, it's Madan. This is monument. This is huge.
It is
Huge.
huge.
It's huge.
This
It's
is
huge.
So
Gigantua.
This is big. This is big.
Kafuffle.
What does this mean for the new November elections? What does this mean for the presidency? 34 felonies. You're going to be sentenced in some way, shape, or form, whether you're getting that ankle monitor, whether you're going to stay home. What does this mean for the presidential race? And what are your thoughts? Because we're talking about from now to November. What does this mean?
Well, this means that there is a felon that is got the Republican nomination.
Come on, girl.
And there will likely be a felon on your ballot when you vote. And it also means that Donald Trump will likely have to modify his strategy because he likely will have some type of detention. If our legal system really truly wants to perform all the way through, this person very well could be behind bars as we continue to navigate and march towards November. I think that we have likely a Republican Party that is in disarray. And they are probably now trying to run around. They're running around in circles, probably bumping into each other as they're trying to figure out, what does this mean? Where do we go from here? How do we recover? What is the damage control? And then also, I don't know if it's tied to this case or not, but there was a requirement that he pay $500 million of some sort for something. And that was waived, but it was contingent upon him being convicted. So we now are going to see Donald Trump likely have to surrender almost $500 million in whatever that was. He's going to have to now surrender that because it was all contingent upon his innocence, and now he has been found guilty of all 34. So he has to now pay that $500 million in order to ensure that he is going through this, staying legal in his freedom.
Wow.
He's gonna have to pay some money.
The appeal will begin immediately, I would imagine.
Sure. Yes.
But Didi, what does this mean? Like, it is historic. What does it mean? A former president hit with 34 felonies, unanimous decision. What does this mean?
To me, it's major. It's really major. And watching him, he thought he was untouchable. So now this shows every other candidate, every other president, every other city council, government, that you're not untouchable. They need to know that they're not untouchable. Just because your title is President of the United States, you can't do whatever you want to.
Wow.
Somebody needed to tell him that.
Sad day for white patriarchy.
Yeah, and potentially those that were a part of, if you're behind bars and you were January 6th, it's not looking good for you to get that pardon.
Girl.
So you might
Wow.
want to start remedying and atoning for anybody that you've been messing with while you've been in there. Like, it's not looking good for y'all. It ain't looking good. But I'll tell you what, if we're talking about seeing a shift or seeing something different in this moment of our systems, we saw it today. This is not the foundation of our systems and structures. This is not what those forefathers that people want to invoke and enlist when they're talking about the foundation of this country could have imagined likely. This is something that in this moment was different. The system did something different. We had 12 people that went into deliberation and seemingly were intentional because it wasn't, they didn't come back in 10 minutes. They didn't come back in an hour. They asked questions. They were asking for more testimony. They wanted to hear things. So they were in there in full deliberation. And so that typically means that we didn't start out the same. We didn't start out with the same notion of guilty or not guilty. We were separated, or there was someone in there that was saying guilty and that was saying not guilty. So that deliberation had to happen. And now you saw a community of people have to come together to listen, to ascertain. And when you're behind closed doors and now you are in a space where you can't rationalize your way out of things and you have to stick with the facts, this man is guilty.
I want to ask also this because some say and believe that former President Trump was guilty of sedition, which led to treason. Remember, it's the inciting individuals to do something, inciting them to go into the Capitol on January the 6th. What do you think his message is to his supporters, and what do you think their response will be? Is this a time where it jumps off? Is this a time in America where those individuals who are upset that the former president, has 34 felonies, they believe that he is being illegally targeted for political reasons, etc.? What are your predictions from those who were inspired on January 6th and the mind? What are they thinking now, and what's their next move?
So here's my two predictions pertaining to that. So first, he's been invoking this behavior, or he's been invoking his supporters and his base since this trial started. He was talking about the jury that was selected. He's been talking about the lawyers. He's been talking about the judge. He's been invoking it the entire time. And so I'm sure that his base is now going to start to solidify their strategy based on that provocation of what he's been doing. The second thing I'll say, though, is I think what we are about to see, as annoying and as dangerous and as fucked up as his base is, I think we're about to see just how minimal those that actually are going to act or lean in truly are. Because you do have people that will verbalize their support of Trump, and they'll be like this warrior behind their keyboard, and they'll do all these things. But right when you start asking me to actually really do some shit, I'm not going to do it. However, there are those that are lost in the sauce, and they've been a part of the cult for a long time, that we do need to make sure that we are looking out for. So vigilance is necessary. And making sure that, when we do have those public safety spaces, like, all of y'all need to do your job thoroughly. This is real. And so I do think that we likely will see a reaction from his base. And he has also, his avatars. His sons will probably invoke something. It'll be interesting to see what those Republican political heads do in this space. So I'll be watching for that part as well, like the Nikki Haley's of the world, the Tim Scotts of the world, the Lindsey Grahams, the Matt Gaetzes. I want Marjorie Taylor, blonde, butch, body built, bullshit, green. I'm going to be interested to see what it is that they do in this moment as well, because, and I'm sure Fox News is probably having like a memorial right now. They probably are like got all the drapes pulled and sunglasses on, smoking. Like, they just don't give a fuck anymore.
Wow. Dee Dee, what are your thoughts? What happens? What will the base do? What will Trump's response be? What will take place in the coming hours or days or weeks?
I believe that we're going to see a bunch of Trumpers up and down Parker Road with their Trump flags and signs, honestly. And I believe that they are going to be have the wool pulled over their eyes, because he's like a god to some of them. And they follow, like she said, cult. I believe some of them are totally lost in the sauce. They're totally don't believe that he can do any wrong, because he promised them these things. And we don't know what he was promising them in private. We only know what he's saying in public. We don't know what they're saying in private, just like they have those rallies. I'm sure they have Trump rallies, right? And so I believe that there's some that are going to be out here with their big old signs. And then there's some that's going to be in power that are going to do things that he wanted them to do, but undercover.
Wow.
He's invoking right now in his live statement, talking about we don't have the same country anymore. We're in big trouble. He's doing all of it now.
Yeah,
and so
that's what
What are you
does.
hearing? What is he saying? He just gave a statement. What did you hear, Medine?
yeah, so I heard him say he brought in the name Biden, so now he obviously is making this a political piece. So let's listen together, although viewers can't
We'll
hear
come
it.
right back to that in just a second. But again, Donald J. Trump found guilty on 34 felony charges. What I expect is a spin. You know, you're going to start hearing the spin of, you know, how what I think you just mentioned. This isn't America. This is a witch hunt. We have to take our country back.
Yeah.
We've got to make America great again. And then also, what I also see happening is
That's what he said.
Fani Willis is clapping. She's like,
She's going like this.
she's like, don't worry, I got time now. Don't worry, you handle that. Because you coming back over here to this trial too, and then there's probably some other trials happening in different places, but this first domino has fallen, and I think it's going to open the door for many more. And so when those who were wondering what the Fani Willis case was going to do in terms of the tampering with the election, this was just his own money. Now you're going to get to this dynamic about tampering with the election,
Right.
While you're doing the appeal. And trying to also run a narrative and a campaign, Fani and crew are like, don't worry, we waiting on you over here in Georgia.
Yeah, and I think I think this really truly is the sign of. I mean, a lot of people that have reason could see that Donald Trump was and is very corrupt, and I think that that's been something that he's been all his life. So he rightfully is confused on, why do I have to go to court? I've been doing this all my life. Not saying that it's like justifiable delusion. That, however, like a lot of us have seen this, and so when he decides to elevate himself into a space of authority and responsibility, and continues to behave in those same patterns, well, bro, you got to come and you got to pay account for that. That's why, they were trying to spin it of like, well, I didn't even have sex with Stormy Daniels. That was never what this was about. This was about the money that she received. That was already factual when we came into the case. She received $130,000. Even if it was for cover up, not for cover up, the problem, sir, is that you put on your business documents that you had to surrender for tax purposes, for good standing purpose, etc., and you signed away on saying under the penalty of perjury, etc. Like, all of these laws are there. And so that is what you had to come and be accountable for.
Right.
So don't do it and not want to be accountable to it.
Right.
If you're big, bad, and bossy, then say, yeah, I did it, now what? And he didn't. He wanted to spin it around and all of that. Now we're moving into this, I need 11,731 votes. I just, trying to rig this election in Georgia. And so, again, these are the things and the choices that you made. Those are the patterns that you decided to live in under the notion of being responsible and representing our country. So the moment that you start living outside in those patterns while you're in the office, then of course you're about to be drowned out of this legal system is going to drown you. You're already drowning. Now it's just a matter of like, what's the time of death? Because you're trying to still swallow water, bro. You're drowning.
Well,
and we're just waiting for your body to float back up so somebody can claim it and we can, send you off.
Well, you made an excellent
Break the
point in
law.
terms of, the insurance or, whatever you put up to protect you from the money that you're going to owe. That is in play. What comes next is called sentencing.
Yeah.
You can appeal all you want, but that sentence is coming now.
It is
and
coming.
That's next stop sentencing for Donald J. Trump. In the news breaking right now.
And
Donald
guess
J.
who
Trump.
gets to sentence this man?
Donald J. Trump guilty on all 34 felony charges.
Yeah.
Who gets to sentence him?
The judge that you've been talking shit about the whole time. You've been talking shit about me the whole time.
You're so stupid.
And even his defense, when they were doing their closing argument, the judge had to stop the defense because the defense decided to bring in the sentencing piece in their closing argument. And the judge said, the jury ain't got nothing on that. That's my job. So
That's
what you
right.
ain't gonna talk about is what I do. You ain't gonna have this jury sitting here trying to contemplate my job.
Right.
That ain't for them.
Right.
And so your lawyers done pissed this judge off. Donald dumbass, you done pissed me off every day. You were supposed to be held in contempt multiple times, but I withheld. And so now,
Look at here, boy. Look at here.
but of
Boy,
course,
look at here.
I'm gonna be unbiased.
Look
Of
at
course.
God. Look at God.
So yeah, so when that sentencing comes down, I mean, he needs to be very thankful and grateful that there is a grace period in between, because maybe, you know, the judge will have a nice, cool little holiday and be like, okay, you know, let's talk about sentencing. But the shit's coming. 34 felons, like 34 felony counts. That's going to be real hard to say, still move about the cabin, sir.
Wow. Well, I could tell you, Biden could say, if you don't run, I'll go ahead and pardon you. But anyway, I will just say this.
Wow.
Historic day. All we could do is say, wow, Donald Trump guilty on all 34 felony charges and more to come. Okay, I want to get back to Nisi, but before we do, I want you to tell them about those 7 donations. Breaking news for today, breaking news from yesterday. How do we make this happen?
You know, this only happens one way, y'all. This platform was created for the people. It is, we continue to do this with the people. And the only way that it continues, y'all, is if we as the people keep it going. There's not going to be a lot of tons of outlets that will allow for a platform like this. So Brother Jeff's is the only place you're going to get something like this. So y'all, 7 donations a day will do it. You can go to Patreon, look up Brother Jeff. I'm a Patreon. I give to Patreon or give to Brother Jay in my sleep, and I love it, y'all. I'm a way cool Patreon, so join me if you can. And then you can also go to brotherjeff.com. There's a PayPal option that's there, so you can give that way. Or you can be like the great, the amazing, the dope Leanne Wheeler, who actually will be here doing a panel for the Denver District DA race. But she will do live on the show. She'll go to Cash App, $JEFFFARD. If you give live, we'll hear the cha-ching, and we will give you a shout out.
Everybody, if you're just really into this 34 felonies, 34 of you should go to Cash App,
That's right.
$JEFFFARD, and hit us up right now. We want to see you. $. It's Cash App, $JEFFFARD.